This is gonna be more of a philosophical video, but the entire idea of your truth and my truth is the dumbest thing in the world, and I'm tired of pretending that it isn't. So this shouldn't be controversial, but reality isn't necessarily what you make of it. It's still out of your control and can't feasibly be argued against in convincing ways. Oh, but Trevor, what about virtual reality? See, my friend, the thing is, virtual is the word in front of it for a reason. Whenever you take that headset off, poof the magic dragon, you, as Eminem would say, snap back to reality. See, reality is based on perception, beliefs, etc. That's true, but it also has to take into consideration what all of that is being measured against. You can say 1 + 1 = 4, shout it from the rooftops, convince a nation of like-minded people, idiotic people, but the reality of the situation, the fundamental truth in the end, is that it will still equal 2. Kids born by those you convince will know it as the reality to be 4 though, so if anyone challenges those beliefs, it could literally break their reality since only 1 is fundamentally true, and it's not what they have grown to believe. Still with me? I'm saying this to clarify that if you want to use reality as an argument, it's gonna be hard to do so when you and whatever silly person you are arguing with both have drastically different opinions on what you believe to be true. If you both sit there and yell, "Well, my truth," and that quote-unquote truth is improvingly true on either side, then you're not going to actually get anywhere. You're both gonna be yelling at walls, and you're both gonna be walls as well. It's aggravating that we are in a world where we would rather allow people to both believe and promote lies just to feel comfortable. It's distressing that we are legitimately placing sheltering feelings over protecting children, making adults feel validated over ensuring they aren't a danger to others and themselves, even at the cost of their mental health and in some cases sanity. Well, if they believe it to be true, is my least favorite comment to see. I can believe that I'm immortal, as in cannot be killed, but although this is going to surprise you, I'm sure, it doesn't make me actually immortal now, does it? Belief doesn't equate to altering the true reality of the life that I live. That being said anyway, if instead of you correcting my delusion that I am choosing to live in, you instead allow me to live my truth, as foolish as it is, you are literally letting me live my life in the riskiest way possible. If I believed that I was incapable of being damaged to the point of being killed, then I would be a lot less caring about the risks that I take, since in the end, none of them matter. One day I could just wake up on a sunny Monday morning, walk to railroad tracks, wait for a train, and step in front of it. Why would I do that? That's silly. Well, if I believe myself to be unkillable, then what's the harm, right? Why not push the limits of the ability that I believe myself to have, especially since nobody had the balls to challenge that belief because they didn't want to make me uncomfortable. So I grit my teeth as a natural reaction, smile since I'm gonna be known around the world as the first boy to survive a full-speed impact with an oncoming train, and I step onto the tracks and into the afterlife. Sure, this is an extreme example, but one thing to know about me is I like my examples extreme. It really pushes the point home and is always fun to think up on the spot like this. But in case some of y'all have no imagination whatsoever, or struggle to understand the extreme example in a way to apply it to a more realistic one, I guess I can give you another, a less extreme one. I got you. Your child, a minor, is going through a really lonely point in their life. They want to be in a romantic relationship, but they struggle with that. Maybe even struggle with any type of relationships or connections at all. They get lonelier and lonelier as time goes on, and with nobody to help get them through it, nobody they feel like would understand, as they struggle to make sense of it themselves, they become convinced it's because they need to transition. They associate the loneliness, the isolation, with not being comfortable with who they are as a person. Maybe if they transition, they could become someone that others would want to have a connection with, since the way they are now doesn't seem to attract others. Their inability to understand their own feelings, them not having someone to help them through their feelings, and a culture that uplifts transgenderism as brave and special all led them to this belief, a way to have the courage they never had before, or they never acknowledged they have anyway. They have some doubts, but the moment they bring it up, everyone immediately validates them, tells them they are so glad that they're living their truth, so thankful that they are finally coming out as who they are, using terminology that, even though the intentions of those people are supportive, their words are a pressure instead. Now the kid, your kid, feels like they have to transition. That's now what people expect from them, and the entire time they wanted this kind of attention, this kind of connection, and now they are finally getting it. It must be proof of their truth, right? Suppressing all doubts, affirming themselves as others do the same for them. They start hormone blockers. The voice stops deepening, visible changes don't occur at the rate that they should, etc. Then they start hormone replacement, since the majority of kids that start blockers go all the way. Again, when you start something as a kid, you feel obligated to continue that since now that's what's expected of you. This is no different. Don't want to let people down, right? Especially if loneliness is what spawned all this in the first place. Now your voice is changing, you're growing parts that you normally wouldn't. Males with breasts, females with full-on beards. Changes that are permanent, changes that ruin lives, changes that kids don't understand. But everyone affirms their actions. They are following their truth, becoming who they wanna be, and everyone that has anything to say against it are just hateful bigots and transphobes. They are awful people. Ignore them. Follow your truth. That's what they tell the kid. That's what they tell your kid. That's what you in this situation may even tell your child as well. Now the damage is already done. So if the kids change their minds, it's probably too late. The chance of having kids could be out the window. Some physical changes they'll have to live with for some time, if not forever. The ones that don't change their minds though, they can then get gender reassignment surgery, trying desperately to make their truth their own. This could have been the answer to their loneliness since they met so many others throughout this journey. Or if they didn't, then maybe after this they will be the kind of person that others will want to meet. Maybe all of this build-up was for the outcome that they want. Then we have extremely sad and common situations. Some my friends have experienced, some people that I respect more than anything like Chloe Cole have experienced, where all of this caused more harm than good. Once the actual reality doesn't change, once their truth doesn't equate to the truth, and everything falls apart, oftentimes, sadly, leading to death. This wasn't an extreme example. This was one that happens all the time. My friends have been affected by it. I may even ask if any of them want to tell their story one day. All that work to alter reality, at the end of the day, just leave a lot of people feeling out of place in the reality as it truly is. Your truth, my truth, your mama's truth, they aren't interchangeable. Beliefs can change, people can hallucinate, they can spiral, they can be influenced by drugs and alcohol, they can feel differently, they can alter appearance, they can play pretend, but they can't change the fundamental truth of the one true, all-encompassing reality. Most of the people that try and use feelings alone as an argument have no logical weight behind their words, and even if they do, because they led with their feelings, they turned a lot of people off, like I did over on Nerdsfeed with my Earthspark video. Whenever you make decisions based on feelings alone, all that's going to do is cause more harm than good. There needs to be a balance. You have to have something to compare those feelings to, and that something needs to be based off of a fundamental understanding of the unchangeable truths of the world. As a good friend of mine once said, and as I said earlier, 1 + 1 = 2 no matter where you are in the world. Believing otherwise doesn't change the actuality of you being wrong. Once you grasp an understanding of truths that never change, real, literal truths, then you can use that but to make rational decisions and actually understand things beyond what your feelings want you to believe. You can finally change the world, or at least your life, by knowing what changes can actually be made and the consequences of that. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Have a great day. Thank you.